Cigar Club family, what is going on? Welcome to another episode on the Cigar Club podcast. We've got a brand interview that I'm extremely excited for. I'm your host, Dave Imber, and joining me today, as always, the Palette Prince, David Pugh.
You say you're excited about this one. I'm much more excited than you are.
Pugh didn't sleep last night.
Nope.
And is not going to sleep or get any work done after this, most likely. And that is A-okay. We've got a Cigar Club family fave. I don't know if I could. I think I can easily, no bullshit, easily say like top 3 Cigar Club brand ever that people like. I mean, if you sign up for Cigar Club, you're getting one of these cigars in your box no matter what, always
Guaranteed.
for eternity. We got Serino Cigars in the house. Carson Serino is going to be hanging out with us in just a second. And they've got a lot of new blends, new projects in the works. They just announced one. I don't even know if he's announced it yet. We'll have to ask him. But we're shipping it today, literally. And I've got it right here next to me. So we'll be talking about this. And we just got a lot of questions, a lot of great conversation. Another young gun in this industry that's making waves, blending really awesome cigars.
Absolutely.
Pew, any foreground you want to set before we bring him in?
Gosh, there's a lot. No, this is one that I've been hoping for, and I'm glad that it's finally coming. I've been a huge fan of Serino Cigars since early in my cigar smoking days. 2017 probably is when I first started smoking Serino. So beyond excited for this one. I think we bring him right in. Let's get right to it.
Here he comes. For better or worse, Carson Serino in the house. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Welcome. Doing great.
We are doing grand. Unfortunately, I'm not smoking today because the allergies of the Midwest have destroyed me.
No.
I got you covered, Dave.
But I love that both of you have me covered on the cigar that I would have been smoking. So, Carson,
cool.
Carson, what are you smoking? And tell us.
Trying to get the angle right. I'm smoking our new Taino Heritage, which hasn't even officially launched yet. It's launching, I would say, so this is going to be aired on Friday on next Monday. So next week. But all the Cigar Club guys are getting a nice little sneak peek of what's to come. But yeah, this is our Taino Heritage blend. It is the counterpart to our original Taino, the white label, which was made in Nicaragua, but this one is the Dominican expression of it. I would say they pair pretty well together. They're very similar, but very different. I'd say the body and flavor profile are similar, but they're just expressed differently. I think you guys have all smoked it. I would say that's kind of, what we were going for, and I think we really accomplished it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I just smoked our exclusive, the 44, what, Dave, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah.
That was the first time that I smoked it, which I was really excited to finally smoke the Taino. And in my head, mentally kind of comparing the two side by side as I smoked through the Heritage for the first time here live.
The Pew made a drastic comment when he first puffed the 44. What was it?
It's my island cigar. I mean, I was not even 2 puffs into it.
His desert island, one cigar left on Earth.
Dude, me too.
And the best part is,
I love that damn cigar, and we did not make enough.
It replaced the Wayfarer. So I went from the Wayfarer as my island cigar to the Taino 44. And it was fantastic. I enjoyed every moment of that cigar.
I'll take it. Wayfarer is always special to me because, it was the first cigar we blended. Or I blended for the family, but you keep improving with time. So the fact that the Taino 44 is, upseating it is welcome, But I really like the 44 as well. I think that's a pretty banging cigar.
Yeah,
well said. Yeah,
it's almost. I don't know if there is a perfect cigar, but to me that one is pretty damn close. And it came out beautiful. It's so balanced. It's nuanced. It's creamy. It's a little spicy. It's sweet. God, I love it. And I love
and I'm pumped that up.
Foot.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just perfectly balanced. As soon as it starts to head towards one direction, a new note comes up to pull it back towards the center. And I think that's a master of a balancing act.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's Dave's and mine's favorite size too. So I was pumped we were able to link up and deliver that size to the Cigar Club fans, which is like, an extension of both of us, which I think is what you look for in a subscription service. How a good curation of people who are working together to deliver something unique to the customers.
Yeah, I always laugh that was one of the easiest projects we've ever done. I think it was, you were here in Cincinnati and we were talking about another cigar that's a similar size, and then we were talking about Taino and blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, I wish you had Taino in a 44. And you're like, yeah, I wish we had Taino in a 44 too, like a 5.5 44. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be sick. And you're like, okay, it'll be ready in 3 months. Well, I think it was like 5 months or something, but and then I don't know, it just all lined up perfectly. That one was so much fun. And I love that you're going to make it full production, because it's my personal favorite size in Taino. In the OG Taino, the white label. Yeah,
for sure. We should just go ahead and make that size for like every
cigar.
The
Cigar Club exclusive on every line. Each Royale has a 5.5 44.
The cool thing about
44.
For sure. The cool thing about doing exclusives, though, the one thing I wouldn't want, like, I feel like if we did that, it would kind of water it down. The uniqueness in this. It would just be like another offering in each line. Like, so I do like that we have it exclusive to you guys, and then in that line as well. Maybe we'll try to find like a good size in this blue label, and make that like,
Yeah. So I'm really curious, just to jump into some questions here. And Pew, I know you got a lot of background Serino questions, which I really am excited for everybody to hear about. But while we're talking about the heritage, Carson, you work with Omar Gonzalez at La Corona factory in Nicaragua exclusively for the main Serino lines that we all know, and with the exception, obviously, of this one. I really want to know what is it like now working with Hochi, a new blender, or like a new master blender that you're working with. How are their processes different? What was the difference like when you blended Taino with Omar versus when you blended Taino Heritage with Hochi? And that we're talking about Hochi Blanco in at Tabacalera La Palma.
Okay, so working with Omar is more. There's more. I would say precision out of necessity. Like, he has less amount of tobaccos, but he still puts in the same amount of time and effort, and really like focuses on getting those 3 varietal of tobaccos like just right, and making those 3 different tobaccos, 4 different filler tobaccos work really well together. Hochi, it's almost like overwhelming because he's just got such an inventory of tobaccos. Like, he's got Piloto Cubano, Criollo 98, Corojo 99. There's just like so much. That factory is so big.
Where do you even start?
So yeah, exactly. So, you kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit, but yeah, it's just different. It's a bigger factory too. So, you don't know, there's a lot more to take in. But I would say they're both very passionate in their own rights. They're both very knowledgeable. Some of their processes are different. But yeah, I would say equally rewarding each way.
Yeah, and this has been Heritage has been a long time coming. You announced this 2019 IPCPR.
Like before that,
2018. Yeah, 2019. Yeah, 2019. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the pandemic.
Yeah.
We went back to the drawing board. We reblended this once too.
Oh, okay.
We came up. We did a sampling. We actually started production. Didn't like how the production was going. Hochi was super cool with us just scrapping it. And then we reblended the whole thing. So, and then right when we reblended everything, the pandemic hit, and we were like, well, we're not making cigars. So, and now it's 2021, and we're releasing the cigar. So,
And it's full
It's solid
production, right?
times. I'm not that worried about it. It's full production. Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
I can't imagine having to go back and be like, hey, this doesn't really taste like it's supposed to taste. But the fact that you have that relationship with Hochi and that he's like, okay, we'll make it right.
Yeah.
Like
That's what's
crazy.
cool about Hochi, because he's got so many like different avenues to discharge cigars that, we
Right.
didn't like it. They weren't bad cigars.
Right.
It just wasn't exactly what we're looking for. So I'm sure, he got sold them to somebody else. But
Right.
yeah, Hochi's super cool with that. That, he was just like, we'll make something else until you guys are happy.
That's a really good way to start a relationship off as well. Like,
Yeah.
Here's a production, just it didn't hit the mark. Hey, no problem. And then
Yeah.
we'll start it over again, or make the tweaks.
The response was a great way to start off a relationship. Carson rolling his ass in there, telling him wrong. Next.
Well, we've known him a long time. Yeah, it's
No, I
just
know
the
you do.
first time we've worked together. But
No.
yeah, we've actually known Hochi for a good amount of time. So it would probably be more jarring and harder for us to do if we didn't know him. If somebody else was just going in there for the first time, we've been doing this a while. So
I think
so we had a good rapport.
Yeah, and then Dave, thanks for asking that question, because I remember reading the 2019 saying that it was going to be released at ICPCR. I think I said that right. I always get that acronym wrong.
That's PCA, so it's easy.
Yeah, that's true. There. And so I was really excited to finally see that it's coming back out, because I've been excited for it since 2019, and I figured the pandemic really put a back burner on a lot of releases. But it's interesting to know that the tweaks that were made to it to really hit the vision of what you were looking for with it.
Match boy.
Yeah. I have been recently on
Have you
really
really?
on cigars that are really delicate. I like using matches.
Cool. Interesting. Do you use cedar at all?
And
like a cedar spill?
Cedar works. Yeah. Like this is me wanting to be good and just getting lazy about it. Like not seeing it all the way through. Like if I wanted to really, you should light this and then maybe do like a cedar spill and then do it. But
that's interesting. That's one of the things that we've never talked about, Dave. I always feel like when I use matches or cedar, I never can get it properly lit. Like, especially I don't know how to toast a cigar with a match or a cedar spill. And then whenever I'm just actually lighting it, or if I have to relight it, I always, I don't know. I always just go for my torch. Maybe it's just me being lazy and just knowing that I can get a burn with a torch, but I don't know. That's just something. Do you ever use matches or cedar spills, Dave?
I've been on, I will once in a while, but I've been on I got that 6 Zippo, and I got this insert. So you
soft
take the
flame's
Zippo,
good though too.
but I take the Zippo insert out because of all this talk about the Zippo lighter fluid and the strong odor it leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And I found somebody online who makes Zippo butane soft flame inserts, if you kept up with that. So it's butane, soft flame, and it fits perfectly in the Zippo and works just like a Zippo. And that has been all I've used. I have the big torch tabletop lighter that I always end up burning some part of the wrapper on if it's light outside and I can't see it. So then I'm like, screw it. I'm going to the soft flame. But if I could just find a soft flame that was like ultra wind resistant, which the Zippo pretty much is, that's my favorite way to light one. But I'll literally light a cigar anyway. I've lit one on a gas stove before because I didn't have a lighter, so I don't really care.
Yeah, I've toasted one on a bonfire before because I forgot my lighter or it went out. I mean, I think I torched half the cigar, but hey, I got it lit and got it smoking.
That's hilarious. All right, let's dive into, because we got a lot of questions here that I really want to know. I want to go through. I know a lot of our members, they've seen Serino now. I'm trying to. We're probably coming up on a year here, Carson, from when I cold LinkedIn messaged you because I never got a response from your website contact us form, which now you have a stunning website and
making moves.
So if you guys haven't seen it, go to serenocigars.com. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And but anyway, a year ago we started
good photography on it.
Decent photography on it. A year ago we started talking about getting you guys in boxes, and then I don't know, next thing you know, it's like every month members, I said this before you came on, but every month members of Cigar Club are accustomed to seeing some type of Serino product in there, and I love that. I love that it's the first brand a lot of our members see when they sign up. It's a brand they see 4, 5, 6 times a year throughout their membership. Tell us a little bit about your story with Serino. Obviously, your last name, so it's got to be a family biz. But when did you truly get involved with the company, and what kind of shifted when you came on board?
Okay, so our family has been in cigars for 26 years now. My dad started APS Distributors, which, you know, he was just pretty much curating cigars around South Florida and mainly from Miami and selling them locally. You know, so I grew up around that. I'm 31, 26, you know, I was 4 or 5 years old when the seeds, you know, when the seeds started to sprout.
Yes.
So he started doing that. It started off as a side gig, and then, you know, he gained enough retailers in the area. Then we also opened up our own retail store called My Cigar Club in Pompano Beach, Florida.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, we had a retail
You
shop.
guys had a retail store called My Cigar Club?
Not anymore. It's because, you know, we grew, the manufacturing
that's
side
just
grew
so
so
funny.
much. Yeah.
So funny.
It was all the
that'd be
way
a
from when
great
I was
name
in
for
middle
a
school.
subscription company now.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, we did that. I worked at the retail shop all the way through high school from, you know, 16 to 18 for 2 years. Then I went to FSU, spent 5 years there, and I came back out and I came back out and
The old 5-year undergrad, huh?
5-year undergrad. I got 2 majors though.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm
Walk
way
that
off.
back,
Then.
Dave.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Track.
Okay. So then that happened. I came out of school and I went to school for marketing and branding, but I also had, you know, a pretty deep interest in cigars. And at that time, we were still only doing bundles and cigars for other people, and we really wanted to get our own brand out there. So I came on board. We knew Omar for a long, long time, and we started to cultivate the Serino brand. So 2016 is when that happened. So I've been with the company for 5 years now. 5 years on actual branding and developing projects, not just like working at the cigar shop.
Right.
And now I would say it changed because we actually emphasized branding. You know, our own name behind it, and what we wanted to build behind our name: reliability, high quality blends, very narrated branding, like brands with their own narratives and stories behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then just good connection with our consumers and retailers. And I would say, you know, those were ideals that we had with APS too, but they weren't expressed as they are now. So I don't want to take all the, you know, all the shine on that. Like there's a lot of people on our team that made that happen. But I would say that's over the 5 years how we've grown. We went from just private labeling to, like, you know, crafting and building our own name.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that, and maybe I feel like this is the case. I was introduced to Serino probably the end of 2016, maybe the beginning of 2017, just from community members and almost this like organic growth of the brand. And I think that's one thing that I've taken forward. I had someone send me literally a sampler of every line at the time, and I've paid that forward. And I think that's the one thing that I love about the brand is it's just this organic, natural, community-driven love for the brand and the cigars that you produce. I always say, and I think I've said it a few times on here, I've gone through boxes of Wayfarer, and I think I've given away more than I've smoked. Awesome. And it's just kind of that paying forward of someone went out of their way to introduce me to the brand, out of the kindness of the heart, their love for the brand, and wanted to see it successful, and really the story of what y'all were doing. And I've paid that forward in dividends. And I think that's the one thing that I love is just, hey, to me, the Wayfarer is like, I've gone into brick and mortars that didn't carry Serino, and hey, this is great. Smoke this. You've never heard it before. You're going to love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. And that's like a lot of our, you know, we're a small boutique brand. We're small to mid-size, so we don't have the huge ad dollars as some of the, you know, mega heritage brands. So grassroots movement is something we really had to focus on. And I'm happy to hear that, because, you know, we are in the position where we can build slowly. And I'd rather have, you know, 1 to 2 really devoted people who are interested in our brand than just, you know, just kind of 10 people who are like, yeah, we'll have one of their cigars and then leave. You know, I'd rather have a fan base and a following and people who buy into what we're doing.
We talk about that all the time too as a team, whether it's exclusives we release or customs or just our monthly curated boxes. Like, we want people that aren't just sitting there adding up the MSRP value of a box going, all right, it was worth it or it wasn't. Like, you're here for an experience, and you're here for the community, the podcast you get to listen to, the Facebook groups you're in, the events that we do, the cool stuff we release. And recently, I mean, over the past couple of years, we've seen this shift of this really loyal following with Cigar Club of people who just are excited and they want to learn everything that we're learning, because we're not far behind them on experience working in cigars. I mean, for me, it's like been 2 years and being in the actual industry, right? So I think that extension, and when we find brands that are like that as well, like you guys, Carson, it fits so seamlessly because there's no made up story to make it seem like we have a relationship. It's like there just is a relationship, and then people get the fruits of that with all the cigars.
Yeah, absolutely. And with you guys definitely get an experience. I know you guys, you cross-reference some of your industries, like with the bourbon and coffee. And then you put in so much time to do all those like write-ups and the insider packets. And you know, that's what captured my attention when I started looking at Cigar Club compared to other subscription services. And everyone's got their own little thing to offer.
Sure.
You know, I'm not dogging those guys. But yeah, you guys, the branding's well thought out. The experience is well thought out. Even for that alone, even if the cigars came out to exactly what you'd pay in the store, I find it to be worth it. You know, if I didn't have cigars available to me at every beck and call, I would be a Cigar Club member, you know, which I am, but that's like, you know.
Yeah. I got to get you the new boxes. I don't think you've seen them in person.
No, I haven't.
All right, we'll ship you some of these ones because they have Taino in them, the heritage.
Okay.
So you can get it.
Cool.
We'll send you that so you can see all the new branding, which is just beautiful. I love thinking about it. But speaking of brands, do it, Pew. I know you got questions.
Oh gosh, throw me on the spot.
I just see the segue with the labels, the small batch Serino stuff.
No, I know. I don't know where to start. I am obsessed with the bands, and the one thing that I love you do is you post on social media, like, which ones do you like? I remember voting and talking to you multiple times on Expat, a couple other brands that you've released or are in the works. I, for one, and I love that community feedback, but also just really a question is, your bands are amazing. I think they're some of the best looking in the business, from the original Serino lines of Medio, the Connecticut, to Wayfarer, Taino. What is your approach when designing a new band? Like, where do you draw your inspiration from? What kind of thought do you put into it, like, when making a new band?
So we look at the cigar first, what we're crafting, try to match up the story behind it, try to create a brand story. And then I really focus on creating like a certain, you know, you want it to have a personality and feel to it. Like Wayfarer has that really kind of elegant, old, I want to say, I don't know if Art Deco is the word, that kind of Gatsby-esque.
Gatsby.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of your designs remind me of 1920, 1930, 1940 style approach to designs.
Yeah, and then Taino is different. It's supposed to have more of a indigenous grassroots feel to it, and also is supposed to be very honest with the story. Like, I looked at the bird of the Taino people, and then we readapted it so that it looked more modern, more with the times. You know, we didn't want some like hieroglyphics on the band. But yeah, there's story to that. On the white label, there's the red dot in the center, which is supposed to be the heart, the beating pulse of the Taino people. that's the reason why we use that little red dot. So there are little like hidden meanings in everything that we do. I really liked expat. I thought that was expat is
Love
a
expat.
cool branding because we wanted to make something affordable, which all of our Serino cigars are, you know, in the 10 plus, and then expat we wanted in the $7 to $8 range, which is something we're very native of doing with APS. We make affordable cigars, but it was something new to that, to our Serino portfolio. So we called it the expat, like what an expat is. It's a, you know, somebody in a foreign land. It's somebody, but, you know, has some kind of native feel to them. So everything's got its little stories to it. And then the band design, we really try to create a theme for it and go with it. Expat, I really love British Racing Green. So I wanted a British Racing Green band. So we just we made it fit.
I remember talking to you about that one. And the font choice, I think that was my biggest compliment on that cigar, was the font choice of that just really fit that early auto racing mentality, which matches up obviously with the car that's on it. And I thought that was, to me, just a perfect overall design of a cigar band. Fit the theme, fit the color, the font, everything all around it. Cool.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job with that one, and I'm excited for like all the new stuff coming out too. So
yeah, you gotta you're about to get, I mean, you are really busy right now, but you've been teasing out this Serino Studio small batch micro blend program within Serino.
Yeah,
so
a brand within a brand.
A brand within a brand. Give us a little glimpse into what that is. Are these regular production sticks? Are they one-time releases? Will they go to retailers, or are they just an online, you know, SerinoCigars.com product?
So Serino Studio is where, you know, we always try to bend the limit, but like, you know, it's where we really can get curious with our brands, and really push for good themes, good designs, small batches using vintage tobaccos or some unique, hard to find stuff. They might be smaller runs, but it's where we can really own in on our artisan craftsmanship of things, which it's not to say we don't already do, but it's like a hyper focused. Yeah. This is when we roll up our sleeves and do what we do best. With that, we will probably, it's going to be a hybrid of offering them through, you know, Cigar Club, through our own website in small batches, and then to the retailers. The way I'm looking at it now is probably the retailers will get a full package of it, and we'll just sell samplers on the website. So, you know, if you're in a remote area and you want to just try out a couple, you can come to us and then go to your retailer. You can get them through Cigar Club. So it's kind of a way to tie in everything together and create different exposure streams for ourselves. Like I want us to become more accessible to the public, because I think a lot of the stuff we're doing is great, but sometimes, you know, we're still growing. We want to become more accessible.
Now, are they going to feature new factories, or are they going to be primarily out of the two you're working out of now?
It's going to be all over the place. I would say that we have a lot of. It's going to be mostly out of La Corona. I mean, that's Omar's. Means a ton to me, and I just really believe in the way he makes cigars. But if a good opportunity for collaboration comes, we will probably bring it to light through Serino Studio. So, you know, it's a place, like I said, where we can remain curious and really explore cigar making through our different partnerships and through different factories, but I do have, you know, favoritism with Omar and La Corona. So
yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
No, that's one I've been super excited about for a while. I remember I watched an interview, or heck, it may have been even on a Zoom lounge with Cigar Club, and you first mentioned that, and I just lit up. Like, just the thought of that, the kind of this experimental one-offs, you know, single, maybe even just one-time runs of cigars, just to really see what tobacco can do and blending can do when done with limited tobacco, things like that.
Carson, tell us about have you released the name, or can you talk about the name of this first one?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I have not released it. But
You have
we
not
can talk
released
about it. No, we have not. We have not put a press release out for it. So,
well,
yeah.
I'll leave that up to you then. But
Let's
if you
put
want
him
to
on the
talk about it, you can talk about it. But we are getting some of those in a really cool size coming out.
Yeah.
What is so fall is the first time a Serino Studio will release.
Yeah, so fall 2021, I would say, is going to be Serino Studio debut.
Cool.
But yeah, we have a brand called Eleanor Rose, which I'm very, very excited about. I love the branding on it. It's an Ecuadorian Rojiza wrapper, which is just like a variation of a Rosado, Ecuadorian Rosado, which is where the namesake comes from, Eleanor Rose. Rose, the name Rosado, and then Eleanor was just kind of a name we gave it at the factory, and people, an old timey name that I was just like, that's Eleanor, man. That's that beauty, just that old time beauty tucked up in the aging room. So that's where Eleanor Rose comes from, and we figured, that wholesomeness of it is going to be the start off of the Studio Serino brand.
I absolutely love. I think that might be my favorite artwork that you guys have released, in the story and the name of it. And I can't even remember half the ones when you were up here in Cincy one night. We were on my porch smoking cigars, and you're just talking with me through all these names in your head and these like fictitious characters that you've created and like what kind of cigar they would be. And I was just like, that is awesome. Like, it's like a mastermind is always at work up here, and then you're like, I'll find a cigar that like fits this persona. But it's this like, I think Serino Studio is just going to absolutely crush it because it feels different. It's not just like, oh, we found X tobacco varietal and there's only 2 bales of it, so get it while you can. It's like, we found really great tobacco that also just fits this really cool story, and we're making it this great place, and we have access to this wrapper, and everything kind of comes together, and then we release the cigar. It doesn't feel like forced.
It has like a purpose.
It all has a purpose. It all comes from like the inner workings of, your mind. But I'm really, really excited for Eleanor Rose, and watching you through that process of like blending it and changing things and going back to old things and changing it again, and constantly, okay, a little less of this, a little more of that. Nope, try this wrapper, try that wrapper, try it in a different size. That you're so hyper focused on these blends, which is crazy cool.
Yeah, and we try to, with Studio Serino, we definitely want to express each blend in sizes that fit the blend. Right. We have the blend, the size coming to CigarClub, which really sings in that, and then 2 other sizes. And it's definitely about not trying to fit a square within a circle. Like, we want it all to line up for what that blend and that tobacco's purpose is.
Totally. And I don't know. I just think I think it's going to do really well, and people are going to be super excited. We've hit the halfway point, and we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back with Carson Serino, and we may talk about, I have to get approval on this. That's why we're going to a break. We may be talking about a potential cigar that Carson and myself are working on that may be coming in 2021. We'll be right back on the Cigar Club podcast. All right, welcome back to the Cigar Club podcast. We're here with Carson Serino from Serino Cigars. Carson, a very exciting project also coming up in 2021 with you guys. For me personally, a dream come true kind of project, a collaboration cigar between myself and you, and of course Omar Gonzalez at La Corona Factory, who put the actual blend and cigars together for us. I'm really excited about a cigar called Bygone. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Bygone rocks, man. So I this is a cigar that Dave and I have been working on for probably say like over 6 months now.
I think October is September, October.
1 year mark.
Started it. Yeah.
Yeah, August, September, right around then for sure. But it is an Ecuadorian Habano Medio blend. I don't know if you want to give away the deets, but it's, bygone times of the past. It really is a blend that I would say stays true to the classic approach of cigars, and the way we roll these are very classic. There's no Lieberman machines rolling them. They're all handmade. Like, everything is handcrafted to the Cuban style, Cuban characteristic. And I would just say the blend, it's out of this world good. It's on the palate, medium bodied and sweet and nice and very well balanced, but through the nose on the retrohale, it just sings. There's just like, you can pinpoint flavor after flavor after flavor. And it really has a nice elegance and nuance to it. And, it's actually probably in my top 2 cigars of what we've ever created. So so it's a banger. I really love that blend. And I love the branding on it. Dave did all the branding on that and let his mind work on that. So it looks beautiful. It smokes beautiful. I think it's going to be a hit.
It's also that cigar. It's based off of, or the name of it comes from this song from one of my favorite artists, Justin Vernon. And Carson's really big into music. I'm really big into music. And it wasn't till the blend that we landed on, I really let it sit for like 3 or 4 months. And I came back to it and I retroed almost every puff of the cigar. And that's when it like clicked in my brain. Like, oh my God, this is one of the most incredible cigars. It is like listening to a song. It has like verses, it has a bridge, it has a hook, it has multiple choruses. And it's just this constant, wow, fruit, floral, cinnamon. And then it's like chocolate, caramel, nutmeg. And then it's like pepper, spice, cream, honey. And it never lets up until the very, very last puff that you have. And you could smoke it without retrohaling once and be like, that was a really good, balanced, sweet cigar. You retro 5 or 6 times, you're like, holy crap, a lot of transitions, a lot of flavor. You retro the majority of that cigar and you'll never put it down. And I don't know, it's a masterpiece to me, and I can't wait to share that one.
Yeah, man, I love it. And I love it because I retrohale all the time. Like, it's so much so that I probably should, restrain myself so that I get more of the mouth feel of things. But when it comes to me, my biggest things are the retro and the room note, how it smells.
The room
like
note,
the aroma,
you are the room note king.
Yep. The aroma of it. So it really makes the grade on both of those. And I even think that, the just general palate feel, if you didn't retrohale your cigars, like, it's awesome. So it's just a very well-rounded and thought-out blend. And it speaks true to what we're doing. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to, kick some ass.
What an announcement! Like, what a way to build hype for that. Because that sounds, that's incredible. The story, Dave, I love the musical tie-in to that, and kind of really where that developed from as far as the name. I think that's really cool. And I think you told me to listen to that song, and I'll have to go back and listen to it and think about the, like you said, the kind of transition of the song, chorus, the verses, things like that.
It's actually really cool if you do it. And Pew, I know you smoked a sample of it.
Oh, good. I didn't know if I could say it. Yeah.
Oh, you can say it. Yeah.
Excellent.
You're there's been, I think, the 3 of us and like 1 or maybe 2 other people who smoked that cigar. And we've also done I haven't really I've talked about it on my personal Instagram like once, a little tease of it. But other than that, it's been pretty close to the chest just while we tried to finalize everything. But we're getting closer. We're months away. And I don't know. It's gonna be legendary.
It's, now that I know I can talk that I've smoked it, it's killer. And Spot, I'm over here like, can I say?
Yeah.
Carson, I'm like you. I unknowingly and unintentionally retro pretty much every time I take a puff of a cigar, and that one was just a dream. The transitions in it, the notes that I got were everything that I love in a cigar. It'd be like giving Dave a cigar that's nothing but cinnamon, and he'd be happy with it. The cream, the floral, the citrus notes that were in it. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm really excited to smoke that one again and see once that goes out everyone's thoughts on it.
Yeah, totally.
I do want to ask. I know pretty much. I would say at this point, if you're a member of the Cigar Club family, you have smoked Wayfarer. To me,
oh God, probably in multiple sizes.
Yeah, exactly.
You've probably smoked at least 3 sizes at this point. Everybody wants Dahlia.
That was my original Island cigar, which was recently replaced. Ooh. Was recently replaced by the 44. But for those that maybe don't know the story behind the Wayfarer, can you go a little bit into how you developed the idea behind Wayfarer, the story behind it? Because I think it's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. So Wayfarer, we started off as me going to Europe with a travel companion, and we decided to go to Europe. I had a bunch of cigars packed for my trip. When I went to Europe, we were running late, and I left all of my cigars in the car.
Oh no!
So I had nothing for a whole month-long journey. When we got over there, mainly to Iceland, I went and stopped at all the duty-free stores and got as many Cuban cigars as I could, just so that I could enjoy while I was on my travels. I smoked a lot of Cuban cigars, which, it wasn't to say I haven't in the past, but it was the first time I really focused on one type of tobacco for the Cuban tobacco for a whole month long straight. So what that was is just based on our journey on that trip, all the cigars I smoked, while I was traveling. And I came and, kept the bands. I wrote down all the different aspects and characteristics that I liked within each cigar. And then when I came back stateside, I went down to La Corona and blended based on all of my favorite aspects, but still wanted to keep a Nicaraguan flair to it because I love Nicaraguan tobacco. So it's a hybrid, and the buildup of a certain time period in my life. And Wayfarer is somebody who travels by foot, which during that time we were, renting cars, catching buses, really just living that kind of traveling Wayfarer life. And that's where the name came from.
And I'm glad you settled on Wayfarer and not the original name that you had for it, which was Aurora Borealis. I think something like that. Yeah,
Aurora's Borealis.
Yes, that's what.
Which is the name for the Northern Lights, which is why we went to go see it. And I was in a cigar looking at the Northern Lights. When
it's just a little harder to say. A little harder.
Just a wee bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It is not a good brand name, which Wayfarer kind of really stuck once we thought it out. But
Wayfarer was my first ever Serino.
Yeah,
really?
At the factory, they were all actually labeled like AB on the little test bands for Aurora's Borealis. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably early 2017, and I got some sampler from Small Batch, and in there was Wayfarer Corona Gorda, and I bought a 5-pack. I bought a 5-pack solely because I liked the band, and I smoked one, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" And that's when I was hooked. And then Carson, you turned me on to the Churchill, the Royale Connecticut Churchill, which I
love that cigar.
Absolutely love that cigar.
Yeah,
the Bellicoso XX is like, I could geek out over all the lines because they all hit just a little different. They're all just like slightly different. But I just love Omar's tobacco so much that I pull any of those cigars out of the cello and I'm like, La Corona. The day I get to step into the La Corona aging room, I'll probably pass out because that smell on all the sample blends I've ever had from there, on all the core lines I've ever had from there, it's my favorite cigar out of cellophane smell is the tobacco and your guys' cigars.
That Connecticut's one of my favorite Connecticut's, and there's a note in that, and I remember telling you about it, Dave, that I haven't found anywhere else, and it's salted pretzels. And it is, every time I smoke the Connecticut, I get salted pretzels, and it just blows me away. And it's one of those notes that I can only find in that Connecticut. I haven't found it anywhere else, and it just excites me every time I go to light that Connecticut up.
Yeah, it's killer. Pew, what are you thinking about Heritage over there? Oh, sorry. I just
Great timing as I go to just touch up from the wind here. It's great. I really want to smoke this at the same time with the original Taino. A little bit more.
It'd be fun. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, cool. I think it'd be a great experiment to just put them side by side. I'll have to get more of these because I'm smoking my only one.
Smoking two in your mouth.
Well,
on the left side, Nicaragua. On the right side, Dominican spice.
It's great. Like I said, I smoked the 44 maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's not on the top of my mind as far as the tasting notes on it. Little bit. I mean, it's different. There's a little bit like a minerality to it that I don't get with the 44. I think that's great. It speaks to the difference of the blends and kind of the vision that you had to it. You know, you're not going to just put out a Dominican one and it be the exact same as your Nicaraguan one. A little bit kind of spicier on the retro than the 44. Great. I wish it wasn't so windy because I've had to touch it up a few times, but it's fantastic. I mean, it's what I would expect from a Serino cigar.
Awesome. Yeah, and what people need to understand, like, I hope when you go to smoke one of our cigars or a new release, that they don't so much hold others brands that we make and try to compare it too much, because what we're trying to do is express cigar making through different brands, so they all need to offer something different. Like if you don't like one of our brands, I know you'll like something else, and that's just because at a different time and place we are trying to express something differently. And that's, you know, the best way as long as it's super, you know, high quality, premium quality, you just have to understand that there's different intentions with every time we go to blend something. And that there's something in our portfolio for everyone. I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Carson, what's it like? How much, let me see the best way to phrase this. Day to day, whether it's production over production and you're having to just validate those cigars or working on new blends, you work closely with your dad. How much is he in the creative process of developing blends? And how much is that on your side of things? Do you guys work well together? Do you guys like want to kill each other? Well, what is like a day-to-day like? Because it's not all just making new blends. Like there's the validation, there's the sales aspect. What is that like?
It's all over the place. No, my dad's great though. We have a good working relationship. He is, I would say he has taken more of a back seat on the branding and the blending from when he did the Royale, like the XX, and he's focused mainly on operational stuff, which, you know, he's very well organized. Everything is always in folders. His Gmail is folder after folder after folder.
Oh
like
my God.
That man, you know, he wakes up at 5 a.m. every day and goes to bed at 11 and he's just a workhorse.
A machine.
Yeah. So that's very good. And I'm very like creative and want to develop good branding stories, which I would say he doesn't care as much about. Like that's just me being honest, but he cares about the quality. We both have we share that same value. So, you know, we keep each other in line very well. And I'd say we play off each other. But yeah, like with any family business, there's, you know, boundary issues but that's okay. I think good creation
family
comes
biz.
from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family biz, you know, so.
What's Papa Serino's favorite cigar from your guys' lines? Does he have like a daily driver?
Yeah, I would say my dad, actually, he really loves the Medio line.
I love Medio.
Yeah, he loves Medio and he loves the XX line too. He really loves Eleanor Rose. He's excited about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pumped about Eleanor Rose. He smokes that cigar a lot. So I would say, yeah, I'd probably go Medio, Eleanor Rose, and then XX for him. He likes Taino and Wafer too. He's all over the place, but I would say, you know, he was the driving force behind the XX blend.
Right.
So that one's very him.
It's hard to pick a favorite though. I mean, they're all like you said, they all have a certain.
Yeah, he shares the same. He loves the Heritage blend too.
Is there an influence that you can point out as far as your father's influence in when you go to like approach a new blend, since he's been doing it for so long? And is there anything that you've learned from him that you kind of take forward as you go to either validate or, you know, develop a brand new brand brand such as Eleanor Rose or the Heritage line?
I would say his input is always make sure the quality lives up, and also that it's okay to I get lost in like perfecting blends, which is good, but at the same time he's like, there's a time and place. Like he's the one who's like, there's a different intention for every cigar. He taught me that. You know, so just make sure the quality is there and don't be afraid to put it out on market and know people are going to love it. Which, right. If it was up to me, every brand release would take me 2 years. Like, because I just want to keep tweaking and tweaking, which I end up doing anyways. But there's got to be a point in time where, you know, he's like, yeah, this is it. Like, stop searching. Which it sounds negative, but it's actually quite positive. Because
no, that's a great one. That's a great thing to have in your corner.
I don't think we'd be productive and be able to connect with people if it was just me trying to overly tweak again and again and getting lost.
You can overblend a cigar. Yeah,
exactly.
Go back to the first time you did it and be like, okay, let's just do it. But now we've done 90 different test blends. So
yeah,
before Omar kills me, let's just put it in production.
Yeah, exactly. And there's something like, we're never one of those people that are just like, yeah, that's a good cigar, let's release it to the public. Like right. There's definitely always revisions and validations, but like I can get a little crazy sometimes. So like he's very good at developing a healthy creative boundary for both of us.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's got to be something that's really important to have. Someone that you know is going to tell you the truth and kind of keep you on the straight and narrow of like, hey, this is really good. It's, it's time.
Trust yourself. Yeah, just trust yourself and put it out there. I forgot who said it, but there was some like quote about like perfectionism is
the enemy of something.
Productivity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I definitely fall into that noise sometimes. So yeah, so I'd say that's where he comes in now and make sure things actually get produced.
It's a good place to be. Now we all get cigars.
Yeah.
Great cigars too.
Oh my gosh, Russ said I'll be locked away in the vault. Man, this has been great to really hear the interworkings of all of this. I know that we have, like you were saying, we've got some really cool stuff coming up and coming in the pipeline with Eleanor Rose, and it's gonna get its own really cool size in Cigar Club, or it'll be released in what I think is the coolest size that you're doing that one in. And then I know you're concepting some new blends, and we're doing Bygone, and there's just like all of these really cool projects. But something I love about Serino is they're always all about cigars, and I love bourbon and coffee, and we play around with like a lot of different industries, and a lot of cigar brands recently play around with a lot of different industries. But you guys, whenever you're playing around with different things, it's like new concepts within cigars, which I think just speaks to like, this is what we do, and this is what we do really, really well. So we're just going to like double down. We're going to continue to create new brands, continue to be progressive when it comes to branding, be progressive when it comes to naming, when it comes to what a profile could be. You guys don't release like 90 sizes in every single cigar always. And I mean, Heritage is what, 3 sizes?
3 sizes.
And I love each of them are, I believe, a tribe of the Taino people. Is that correct? Like, I believe unless this changed, the Corona Gorder is. I don't
even know how you know this, Pew.
Yokahu? I don't know.
Yokahu.
Yes, that was close. And I think that, I mean, and the Wayfarer has unique names for each of the Vitolas as well. And I think that is an awesome, and it adds to the storytelling component. God, I love that blue. I love it.
I mean, all the different name sizes have to go with the authenticity of the Taino people. like the Yokahu, Manicato, and Hamaka. You know, we really wanted an object, a day-to-day item, and then a spiritual aspect of it. Yokahu's like the spirit of the sky. Hamaka is a hammock, which, you know, we think cigars should be laid back and a time to connect with people. And Manicato is somebody who it speaks of like the character of a strong man. So every different size links up with an aspect of their culture. Like Yokahu is the 6x47 because it's elegant and it's spirit like. Manicato is the 6.5x54. It's like the bigger cigar. And then Hamaka is just the little Robusto, the little hangout.
I love it.
So there's different aspects, and we really wanted this brand to be authentic with the Dominican one specifically, because the Nicaraguan line, you know, the Taino people weren't really in Nicaragua. They're in Cuba and Dominican Republic, which Omar's from Cuba, so there's some tie there. But they were mainly the people of Dominican Republic and Hispaniola. So we really wanted the Dominican side to be the heritage of it, the you know, the guts of the people, the grassroots of the people. So I think we did a really good job with picking the names, making sure it was authentic, and then expressing that the way we wanted it to.
Absolutely.
I love it. Pew.
Is it time?
You got any? I think it's time for your big question.
All right. So to keep on theme, my favorite question to ask is people know if you've been listening now, I'm always a believer in always be learning, trying something new, you know, pushing yourself. What is something that either within cigars or just in your personal life that you are currently working towards or learning to do?
Tie in with Bygone, man. I really love music, and I'm always trying to pick up different instruments. I would say like music and cigars are my two passions in life. So music wise, I play guitar, but I'm trying to learn piano right now.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. So, and keyboards, like I like fun stuff. So, I would say that's what's going on, in my life right now. And then, you know, everything ties back to cigars. So like cigars, music, my friends, that's pretty much, you know, that's me captured in a bottle.
Love it. I always wanted to learn piano. I have no musical talent, so it's never going to happen, because I want to be the guy that shows up and there's a piano sitting there and he just sits down and just blows everyone away. And airport, restaurants, whatever it be. I always thought that'd be cool to do. Just sit down and play the piano.
That would be awesome. Man. Well, Carson, thanks for making some time, coming on, sharing all this info. You were on the Griffin Dave show. You've been on Zoom, all these other stuff we've done, but I feel like I didn't know a lot of the stuff about heritage that I learned in this. So I feel enlightened. The Cigar Club family is going to feel enlightened. I hope everyone listening is excited about all of the stuff coming up with Serino, with Cigar Club over the course of 2021. The back half of 2021 is about to be insane. And just a major, it'll just be banger after banger being released. Through the interwebs. So Carson, people can find you, SerinoCigars.com.
SerinoCigars.com. We have a new website, so if people want to go there,
check it out.
I would be honored to have you come check out all the hard work we put in there. At Serino Cigar Co. for Instagram and Facebook. And rock on, Cigar family, Cigar Club fam.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out.
Yes, thank you for being here.
This has been another great episode on the Cigar Club podcast. Pew.
I love hanging out with you guys. So.
And we didn't go like 4 hours over like I anticipated. We did a good job of making sure we stayed within that hour.
60 minutes on the literal dot, and I'm pumped for it. But we'll see you guys same time, same place, Tuesdays in the morning, Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. We'll see y'all next week. Happy smoking.